Hello everyone and welcome to Mr.MoFranchise. It's the NFL Draft rounds 4 through 7. For this video we're going to be doing things a little bit different. We're not going to go through every single team's draft selections as the rounds 4 through 7 aren't as quite as impactful. But I am going to recap every pick that we have and go over a recap of all 7 rounds for the Jaguars specifically. Just remember, for the rules that I do for the draft, I have some spice thrown in where the GM might have an impact on the picks that we have in the round. And just to let you know, for picks rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7, I did have 3 unique things that happened. For one of the picks, I was told to trade for next year. For one of the things, I was told that the head scout would influence that pick, and then the next person, I was also done the same thing. So 2 of the players will have the head scout influence, and one of the picks will be traded down. And you will see that in the footage you're about to see right here. So let's get to it. Rounds 4 through 7 for the Jaguars. Alright, so with the second pick in the 4th round, the Jaguars decided to go with outside linebacker help. And so, looking for a player that we were really high on, having watched the film footage, we thought his tenacity was good. We liked his quickness, which really stood out. And so our pick for the 4th round was Quincy Roche from Temple. 6'4", 240. We liked his tackling, his finesse moves. We liked the fact he ran the 6th fastest 40-yard dash. And while some people called him a bust, a mid-4th round bust, we're still picking him in the 4th round. So with the first pick in our 4th round, we went with Quincy Roche. And when you look at the report, they said we might have reached, but we were really happy with his 70 number overall. And if you look at the reach, it's not that big of a drop. He was projected at 113 and we took him at 98, so not that big of a reach. 6'4", 240, 22-year-old. I mean, this gives us great depth at our outside linebacker position. I think he's going to start, but he's definitely going to compete for a starting spot, especially with that speed. So then the Redskins pick next, and then we're going to follow them. And so with the next pick in the 4th round, we had our eyes on a tight end, and there were a lot of good tight ends in the draft, and a couple were taken before Kyle Pitts. But when you look at the numbers, the combine that Kyle Pitts had, 3rd in the 40-yard dash, so many other things that he did. A 6'6" combine score, B+ spec catch, B catching, B- medium route, 6'6", 239. He was a puzzle piece. He was a scheme fit. He was a projected 3rd round talent. And Kyle Pitts from Florida was someone that we had our eye out for quite a while. We had put off drafting him because we thought we could maybe get him later. And it was at this time we thought it was time to jump the gun. A couple of tight ends had been selected by this point. So we went with Kyle Pitts. And it was a great pick. 71 hidden development. He was ranked 95th and we got him in at 100. So we picked him right where he should have been. Pretty close, but we got him 71 hidden talent. He immediately becomes our #1 tight end starter on this team. 85 speed, fantastic speed for a tight end. 75 catching, 88 acceleration. You know, he's got a little bit of work to do with the blocking. He's definitely more of a pass catching tight end, but 94 entry, hoping that he'll stay on the field for a long period of time. And he will be a nice complement with Josh Oliver. Now Josh Oliver takes the role of maybe 2nd tight end, which is probably where he should have been anyway. So we like this pick. Next up, in the 4th round, pick 24. We wanted to solidify our offensive line. So we had our eyes on Alaric Jackson from Iowa. Just solid all around for the 4th round, but here we're getting him mid-4th round talent. B+ pass block, B+ impact block, B pass block finesse. And there was a 70 hidden development. Ranked 114, we got him We drafted him at 120. We love the fact that he was hidden talent at the 70. And most likely, Alaric Jackson's going to be starting for us. And with that 89 strength, gotta love that 89 strength, 6'6", 320. Our offensive line just got a whole lot better with Alaric Jackson. He's either going to start or be the number one person off of the bench to relieve if anybody gets hurt. But right now, projection, Alaric Jackson is probably going to start. Maybe at right tackle, but definitely with that strength, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with as the years go on. And then we're moving on to the 5th round. With our 4th pick in the 5th round, we went with Nick Bolton, middle linebacker. Now they said this was a reach, but if you look at it, you know, he's 69, he's hidden development, he's 144, and we drafted 132, so it's not that big of a stretch. And what we liked about him, he was 21 years old, field general, 69 hidden development. We liked his motor. We thought he was a good pick, especially since we play at 3-4. And there's a good chance Nick Bolton's going to start for us out of the gates. And if not, at the very least, he gives us depth in middle linebacker position, which we needed desperately when we run a 3-4. Now, if we have an injury, we are definitely protected, either if Nick Bolton is the starter or if Nick Bolton is the first person off the bench. But we felt this was a very good pick to get in the 5th round. Very pleased with that pick. And now we're moving on to the 16th pick in the 5th round. And at this point, we wanted to continue to go for linebackers, and we had our eyes on Anthony Hines III. What we liked about Anthony Hines, by no question asked here, first in the 40-yard dash, first in the 3-cone, first in the 20-yard shuttle. We were amazed that he made it this far. Now, we didn't fully scout Anthony Hines III, but with those combine scores, we felt it was worth getting. And he was a 69 hidden. So 2 linebackers in this 5th round, both 69 hiddens, 1 middle linebacker, 1 outside linebacker. They said we reached, but once again, we drafted him at 144. He's ranked 160th. We think that was a great pick. Once again, solidifying our linebacker position with 69 hiddens in the 5th round. We think that's a success right there. Moving on to our first bust pick, we went with, in round 5, pick 22. We liked the combine score of Brian Robinson Jr. He hadn't been fully scouted, but he played in Alabama, so we thought he had played for a really good team. What we did like about him, his size, 6'1", 227. And with that size, he still had the 7th fastest combine for running backs at 4.45. But this was a little bit of a bust. He was a 63. This was a reach, and I would agree with that. But still, for halfback depth, it's nice to have Brian Robinson Jr. on the team. Then the next thing we were going to do is, with our 4th pick in the 6th round, we were required to trade this pick away for a pick for next year. And so the pick that we saw for next year's draft that stood out to us was the Atlanta Falcons. They're going to give us next year's 4th round pick for this pick in the 6th round this year. So we liked that exchange, and so we pulled the trigger on that. We gave up our early 6th round pick this year for a 4th round pick next year from the Falcons, and so we made that move. And then the next pick in the 6th round, we had cut our fullback, and so we had waited, and now it was time to grab Jamari Peacock. We loved his combine. He's a 69 normal. This was a good pick. If you looked at his combine scores there, he ranked 1st or 2nd or 3rd in most of the categories. 234, 5'11", utility, archetype. He's immediately going to start for us at fullback. We like that selection in the 6th round. And then moving on to our 6th round pick, with the 19th pick, once again looking for offensive line help. Look at Eric Swanson here. Nothing screams to you like this guy's an amazing pick, but what we liked about him was his size. He was 6'5", 312, impact block B+. We hadn't fully scouted him, but at this point in the draft, we were just looking for offensive line depth, which is something that we needed. We cut a lot of our offensive linemen because their numbers were so low. And look at this pick. We get a 69 normal this late in the draft and a 21-year-old to boot with that. and they said it was a good pick. 154 talent, and we got him at 179. So we were very pleased with the Eric Swanson pick. We felt like getting a 69 this late in the draft in the 6th round was a great job by our scouting department. So Eric Swanson will join us and join a much more improved offensive line going into year 2. And then we go into round 7. And the early pick here in round 7, once again looking for linebacker depth. We grabbed Jake Henson. His numbers don't stand out to you, but in college, he led Illinois in tackles. He's just got a big motor, and we really felt like with his B+ pursuit, at this point in the draft, when I looked at the board, there wasn't anything that stood out, and so now this was a reach, however, a big reach. He was only a 64 normal, so our second, what you could argue, bust pick, but for us, playing the 3-4, we felt like having another middle linebacker, if nothing else for the practice squad, was a great help. And then with our last pick in this 2020 draft, we went for Seth Williams, and this was another bust for us. A 61 normal, liked his size, 6'3", 210, 21-year-old. Said he was a deep threat, but really he's a very physical specimen. Most likely he'll make it on the practice squad at the very least. And that was the end of our draft. Reflecting back what we had, for our first pick, we went with Trey Lance, quarterback, 75 overall, liking that pick. Next, Trey Smith, 75, once again with hidden development for the left guard spot. Next up, Creed Humphrey, 73 hidden center, liking that pick as well. And then our other second round pick, Kylan Hill, who's going to immediately start for us at halfback, 75 normal. In the 3rd round, we went with Chris O'Leary, wide receiver from Ohio State. He ended up being a 74 hidden. And then with our next pick in the 4th round, we went with Quincy Roche. And what we liked about Quincy Roche was that his speed, and he was a 70 normal. And then we have Kyle Pitts as a 71 hidden development tight end, who's immediately going to start for us. And then we move on down to left tackle, Alaric Jackson, who happened to be a 70 hidden as well. So we're getting a lot of hiddens in this draft. We thought that was a great pick at a 70 overall. And then our next picks in the 5th round were Nick Bolton, middle linebacker. We also got Hines, the 3rd, to play left outside linebacker, and Brian Robinson Jr., the 3rd, to play halfback. We thought those were some good picks. You know, Bolton was a 69 hidden. Hines was a 69 hidden. Robinson was a 63 normal. So a bust there. Then you look at our 6th round picks. Once again, going back to Hines, liking his 69 overall. Look at his speed, 87 speed. You gotta like that at the outside linebacker position with that 90 acceleration. So he's gonna be able to hit the holes. His strength's a little lacking, but we can work on that. But yeah, he's definitely probably going to be mauled if it's going to come to line block. But as far as like pass rushing or staying with a route, he's going to be able to handle that. Then in the 6th round, getting Jamari Peacock, once again a 69 normal. Getting a 69 normal starter in the 6th round, we thought that was a great pick. And then Eric Swanson getting a 69 normal as well to give us offensive line depth. I mean, he's going to be able to fill in. If there's any injuries, Eric Swanson can fill in, and you can feel like he's still better than most of the linemen that we had this year. So we thought that was a great depth pick in the 6th round there. Once again, that 90 strength is really what stands out there for Jake Henson. Excuse me. In the 7th round, Henson, the middle linebacker, was a little bit of a reach, but we liked his motor, 82 speed and the 83 acceleration. And then Seth Williams, 61 overall, a little bit of a bust, a little slower at 89, but we liked his 76 strength, like his ability to go over the middle, and we feel like Seth Williams rounds out what we felt was a very successful draft, and very pleased with how we performed in this draft. Looking forward to next year. Many of these people will be starting for the Jacksonville Jaguars.